Now, if you're thinking, how do I change the story that I tell myself about love? Because I am tired of my broken, dusty, ghetto love life, I got you. Keep watching. Hi friends, it's Tomiciamarie, aka the Hot Girl Professor, and I'm here to teach you why communication is actually key. I use my communications degree to break down pop cultural phenomena, dissect common relationship issues, whether platonic or romantic, and give you self-development tips. This episode is the part 2 to my first video, Love is a Story. So if you haven't seen part 1, make sure you go back and watch that. This video is gonna make way more sense if you already have the grounding factors as to how to understand love as a story. Because in this episode, we're gonna be going over the examples of viewing love as a story, how to change your story if you don't like the one you're living out right now, and the pillars of how to build a healthy relationship. So first, let's break down the triangular theory of love. The basic elements here are intimacy, passion, and commitment. So if your relationship has all 3 of these things, it's most likely healthy and gonna last long term. If it's missing one of these things or 2 of these things, your relationship is not going anywhere, or it's gonna be really short-lived. Either you or your friends or your family, just people you know, are actually living in relationships that have 2 of these things, which is why they have a lot of issues. So I'm gonna break down all the factors about what builds this triangle, and then we'll get into what that means exactly. So first, you have liking. When you like someone, that's just intimacy only. Like, you like being around them, you enjoy their company, you essentially just enjoy hanging out with them. So you're gonna build intimacy, you're gonna get to know that person. Next, there's infatuation. So infatuation is passion only. When you're infatuated with someone, you have intense emotions. There might be like a chemical attraction to this person, you just can't explain it, but you're always overwhelmed with your emotions. You just adore them so much. You're just like obsessed with them, basically. And then there's empty love. Empty love is commitment only. You're only friends or dating this person out of pure obligation. You've lost the friendship that comes with intimacy, and you've lost the passion that usually comes with being in a romantic relationship. So it's just strictly obligation. Next, there's companionate love. Companionate love is a mixture between, there's companionate love. Companionate love is the mixture between intimacy and commitment. This is usually your platonic relationships because you don't have that romantic attraction to your friend. So you enjoy hanging out with this person. You intend to be their friend for a long time because you enjoy their company. So next, there's fatuous love. So fatuous love is a combination between passion and commitment. This is like your casual hookup relationship. You could be friends with benefits, but this is like on the lesser side of friends. It's just really with benefits. So you seek to have that romantic or sexual connection with somebody, and you've agreed to have a commitment to it. So you see your booty call Tuesdays and Thursdays at 10 p.m. Boom, that's it. You do the deed, and your Uber is coming in 7 minutes as soon as it's done. It's nothing more. Next, you have romantic love, which is intimacy and passion. So obviously we all can picture what that is. You enjoy hanging out with somebody, you like them a lot, you also are romantically attracted to them, but you don't have that sense of commitment. You guys want to be together, but it's open-ended, You may just be casually dating them, or you may be in a exclusive relationship, but you're not set to be in that relationship for the rest of your life. You're just feeling it out as it goes. Finally, there's consummate love. Consummate love is the summation of all of the essential elements: intimacy, passion, and commitment. So when you have consummate love, you have that likability, you enjoy hanging out with this person, you enjoy their time, they're your best friend, basically. You also have that romantic attraction. You are sexually attracted to them, you want to, be with them romantically, and as well, you have that commitment to them. So you want to be with them for an extended period of time. Maybe that's the rest of your life, but you do feel like you have some obligation. Not obligation in a negative sense, but a desire to actually want to be with this person. So most healthy relationships that last are consummate loves. So ideally, if you're looking to get into a long-term relationship, you should be finding partners who you can have all 3 of these things with. If something is off, it's not exactly gonna work. If you know, have romantic love with this person, but they're really flaky, they can't really settle down with you, they're not gonna be able to give you that commitment even though you love them. And you're not gonna be able to build that consummate love. So you have to be looking for somebody who is able to provide you with all three. And you yourself should be able to provide all three for somebody else. Reciprocity, okay? Reciprocity. We do not like one-sided relationships on here. Okay, so now that you understand the pillars of what it takes to build a healthy relationship and how you need a secure attachment style, or at least be working to have a secure attachment style, we're going to get into the examples of viewing love as a story. But before we get into that, make sure to hit the like button down below if you're liking this content. If you are here from part 1, make sure you like this video so I know that you're enjoying part 2. As well, hit the subscribe button down below. You know you like these videos, you obviously came to see part 2. And I'm gonna be producing way more content, so you wanna make sure that you don't miss a beat on that. Also hit the notification bell so you are the first ones to get that video. Okay, so the first example that we're gonna get into is viewing love as a game. I know everybody has heard the terms like, you're playing games with me. Summer Walker literally has a song called Playing Games. That's my song. It was the #1, it was my Spotify most #1 listened to song of 2019 and 2020. Like, that is my song. People who view love as a game like to win. They like to chase, and they view their partners as a prize. You can make the claim that they're essentially objectifying you, or you're objectifying them because they're a prize, but I'm just gonna let it be. There's 2 characters in this story. There's the winner and there's the loser. People who typically view love as a game often say that it's fun, it's exciting, you know, there's always something new. They might be competitive or get jealous easily. Possible pros to viewing love as a game is that it's always gonna be exciting and it's gonna be fun, and it's probably one hell of a dopamine rush. Cons to viewing love as a game. It's a game, so games eventually end. Someone's gonna win, someone's gonna lose, so someone's gonna get hurt. Your partner may be competitive, or they might get jealous easily, view, you know, other people as a threat. For example, your significant other tells you, oh, don't wear that outside because you're mine. What? I'm myself. I belong to myself. I'm not your anything. Honestly, I think the biggest con is that when the chase is over and all the adrenaline after you've gotten that person, once that is all done, someone is gonna feel disregarded and used. And that is the worst thing that you could do to somebody else. And I'm sure that's one of the worst things you can be feeling. So what's the likelihood for success if you are somebody who views love as a game? Essentially, you have a fair outcome, okay? If you view love as a game in the sense that your partner is a prize to win and to chase, the relationship's probably gonna be over, like, once they get you and, you know, once they've done everything they wanted to do with you, or once you've done everything you wanted to do with that person. If you actually have a relationship where games are implemented into your relationship, like you guys are playing a game with each other, for example, this could be role play, then you actually have a better success rate. So it depends on the way that you view games and how games actually function in your relationship. So, example number 2, people who view love as a fairy tale or fantasy. There are 2 characters here, the person in need of salvation and the imagined savior.
So, when filming, my camera died, so I'm back to film with Love is a Story. Sorry if the audio is weird, or the lighting and whatever is weird. It's on a completely different day. When people view love as a fairy tale, they think that they have a knight in shining armor. They think that the other person who, you know, is their partner, their significant other, they're fated to be, they're destined, like, this was written in the stars, honey. Like, this person is kind of delusional. But that's besides the point. Possible pros to viewing love as a story. You love the other person like no other. Like, you adore them. You're obsessed with them. Like, you are just so completely infatuated with this person. That's how I'm doing it. Like, you're a hopeless romantic. You, like, all you care about is love. Like, you're just caught up in literally the story of it all. You will go through you will do whatever it takes to maintain your happiness, to maintain your partner's happiness. Possible cons to viewing love as a fairy tale. You're delusional. There's a lack of realism. It can be hard for you to decipher reality in the sense that everything is so dramatic with you. Like everything is a sign. Everything is, you know, life or death. You're probably the type of person to be in Safeway looking for your Christmas ham, and you make eye contact with somebody in aisle 2 and you're like, that's the love of my life. Personally, I think that people who view love as a story grew up watching Disney Channel, and Disney fed them a ton of BS. Disney fed me a ton of BS, and I believed it for like the longest time. I think you love watching rom-coms or just like any type of romance movie. You just love, you know, you just love love. You are probably just the most delusional person in your friend group, and God gives his toughest battles to his strongest soldiers, so let's go. The likelihood of success. Sternberg says it's poor if you live in your fantasy forever. Like if you fail to view the person in your story as a human being who disappoints, who has flaws, essentially you need your sense of delusion and their reality to clash, and then you have like this meeting ground. If you can never get to the meeting ground, like it's probably never gonna work out. Next we have people who view love as an addiction. I think viewing love as an addiction is very similar to viewing love as a fairy tale. It's very delusional in the same sense, except this one is toxic. Instead of being like, oh my God, you know, my Disney prince, this is like toxic. Basically, people who view love as an addiction, they have this really strong attachment to their person. They're probably clingy. They just hate the thought of losing the other person. Whether it's like, I don't want you, but I don't want anyone else to have you, or I love you so much I can't bear losing you, or even though we break up every 2 months, I still want to be with you. I still love you and nobody else can have, like, it's a hot mess. Essentially, there are 2 characters. There's the addict, and then there's the person who's codependent. The possible pros of viewing love as an addiction, the person who is codependent, so the person who's not the addict, they feel wanted all the time. The person's addicted to them. They can't get enough. And the person who is the addict, obviously, duh, you're the addict, you're hooked on your drug, like you're in love, you're intoxicated, everything's great. Possible cons of viewing love as an addiction. So the person who's not the addict, the codependent one, may feel suffocated. Because you're just doing too much, like all the time. Like, you're literally addicted to them. Ultimately, this is what I think. I think that if you are in any type of one-sided relationship, that's ghetto, that's ugly, you need to dead that ASAP. Essentially, you are addicted to the other person, but they are looking at you like you're average. They probably are getting an ego trip off of being with you when they're probably not even all that, but in your mind, you've told yourself that they're all that. Hear me out, hear me out. If both of y'all are addicted to each other, now that's a cinematic masterpiece. That is soap opera, daytime, Young and the Restless, General Hospital. That is Grey's Anatomy. It is giving what it's supposed to give. Here's how. So if you're both addicted to each other, you're gonna go through the highs together and you're gonna go through the lows together. You're gonna be sober together. You're gonna relapse together. You guys are stuck on each other. Now, if that isn't a love story, then I don't know what is. Now, I think a lot of television and movies feed us the script that we should be viewing love as an addiction. They have all these tortured couples on TV that you're supposed to root for. Like they are not setting us up for failure. So I asked you guys on my Instagram to send in your favorite tortured couples. Here they are. We have Meredith and Derek, Grey's Anatomy, tortured. Bella and Edward, Twilight, tortured. Lydia and Stiles, Scott and Allison, tortured. Both from Teen Wolf. Killing Eve, Eve and Villanelle. Gossip Girl, Chuck and Blair, tortured. Elite, Nadia y Guzman, tortured. Jane the Virgin, Jane and Raphael. One Tree Hill, Lucas and Peyton. Pushing Daisies, Ned and Chuck. Skins UK, Sid and Cassie, tortured. Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind, Joel and Clementine. Charmed, Phoebe and Cole. If y'all haven't seen Charmed, like, please go and watch. Vampire Diaries, Elena and Damon. Gilmore Girls, Jess and Rory. And then somebody had the nerve to say there's a few couples at my college that need to break up. Thank you everybody who sent in entries on Instagram. If you want to follow me on Instagram, it's at tomiciamarie. I like to run polls, ask you guys questions, answer questions you have for me, and host community conversations. So follow me on there. It's lit on the gram. I don't know what to tell you. Follow if you want to. So what are the pros of viewing love as an addiction? You essentially have the ultimate love story. Like, you went to hell and back to be with this person. It just feels like fate and destiny, honestly. Like, you've been out here going through every single trial and tribulation to be with this person. And if it works out, then like, you have the love of your life. Like, you just can't sit here and start over with somebody else, like after you went through all of that. And even if you don't end up together, that is a hell of a love story, and I know you'll never forget it because stories never end. They have tentative ends. Possible cons: the whole entire relationship while you're going through all the trials, the tribulations, while you're in hell and on your trip back. It's a mess. If you are in this situation or you view love as an addiction, all I can say is buckle up. What is the likelihood of success? Sternberg says it's low to moderate for people who are the addict and the codependent. I am gonna make the inference that if you're both addicted to each other, it is either poor or high. Again, you could not end up together or you could end up together. Now the final story is viewing love as travel. You see love as a journey with somebody else, you know? Not really caught up on the destination. It's really all about spending time with somebody, growing with them, traveling with them, essentially. There are two characters. There's Traveler 1, there's Traveler 2. This is the most equal pairing you have. Sternberg didn't say that there was a driver and a passenger. No one has hierarchy over the other. There's literally just Traveler 1 and Traveler 2. And I think that's so beautiful. Possible pros of viewing love as travel: you guys have a dynamic relationship. If you view love as growing with somebody else, you're not ever gonna get stagnant and like feel like you're gonna grow out of love with somebody because they're not fulfilling the role that they need to in your story anymore. You're gonna grow with them, you're gonna adapt. You guys are flexible. You guys are focused on the future, you're planning for tomorrow, you're always looking ahead to see how you guys can be better. Possible cons: if it is very extreme, then the relationship could end because you guys have too much change. Let's say like every 6 months somebody has a new job and like you can't always go with them, like maybe, but again, I think that's in the extreme sense where you just need change. What's the likelihood of success? Sternberg says it's excellent. This is the healthiest way to view love as a story. You actually have the best chance of survival. This is essentially why I say the law of attraction is so applicable. Literally what you internalize happens in reality. If you view love as travel, you will essentially have reality that lets you ebb and flow, grow and change, be the person you want to be. If you love as a game, you're only going to be a prize to somebody else. That is all I have for you, friends. I hope you learned something in this video. If you need to go think about your life, if you need to go unpack, open your journal. I need to do a little unpacking myself. It's not above me either. If you do feel like your mind has been blown, drop a comment down below. Tell me what your favorite part of this video was. Give it a like. I'll see you in the next video.